my diesel. Damn. Get off my diesel. Goddamn. Get off my diesel. Damn. Get off my diesel. Damn. Damn. Diesel. Damn. Damn. Diesel. Damn. Damn. Diesel.
Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. I'm your host, the conservative libertarian here, and yes sir, we are back with another one, man. I know it's been a minute since I've been on here. You know, it's been like what, a couple days. I've been really busy with work, trying to get this money, man. You know, money comes first. This isn't paying me yet, you know what I'm saying? This stick isn't paying me yet. We're gonna go ahead and get into this video, right? We got Mr. Byron Donalds. Now, this isn't Byron Donalds yet, but we got Byron Donalds in the next segment, and he's gonna be talking about why the Democrats are the reason why the extremism is getting out of control in this country. And if you guys do not know already, we have the Trump administration. He is going to be sending troops to Portland to handle some of the extremism and a lot of the radical violence that's happening over there to those ICE facilities. If you guys didn't know, we also just had an ICE facility got shot up not so long ago in Dallas.
Of our ICE facilities under siege from attack by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. I am also authorizing full force if necessary. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That is what we call an escalation in making sure that people understand the president and this administration is taking this very seriously.
That's leadership. President Trump is giving our law enforcement the resources they need to carry out their mission, to do their job and enforce the rule of law. We're grateful for the partnership of Secretary Hegseth. They're surging federal resources there. I mean, Kevin, you've seen the images. You've seen what's happened out of Chicago yesterday. The rioters, one even bringing a handgun. That individual was arrested, as were about 19 other individuals arrested for obstructing justice, for trying to prevent these vehicles from getting into the ICE detention facility, and for assaulting our law enforcement. We're not going to put up with it. This administration is not playing games. I
want to share two graphics back to back. Just this is more instructive for the audience. I know you're well aware of this. This is the ICE agent assaults. And we've talked about how this has been a real problem, but when you see the numbers, it really it's galling, frankly. More than 1,000% increase, according to DHS sources. And in case you're wondering, is this isolated? Let me just share what Antifa is said to be doing. We've got arrests. We've got a map here, and it's everywhere. It's from coast to coast. It's in major cities all around. And I think that underscores, Tricia, why this is so crucial that the president take action right now, not just to ensure the safety of ICE and law enforcement, but also, frankly, to ensure the safety of our communities.
Exactly, the safety of the American public. And what we're seeing is these riots and these protests are becoming highly organized. We're seeing that people are being bussed in. We're looking at, and President Trump has directed a whole of government approach to be looking at those funding streams. Who is sowing this chaos and this violence in American communities? And who's paying for this? So whether it be in Portland, whether it be in Chicago or otherwise, we will bring the resources we need to make sure that Americans are safe.
Let me follow up on that. How do you...
So like I said, there's a lot of shit that's going on in this country, and a lot of it needs to be taken care of, and I'm glad the Trump administration is actually trying to do something about the crime. Big thing about crime, you know what I'm saying? I'm really big on crime. I really hate these criminals. I really do. Even though we listen to these guys on a daily basis in our music, I really don't like them because they are the reasons why our culture is still crime ridden and stuff like that. We should have been over these type people, gangs and violence and stuff like that. Maybe we see political violence here and there and other sorts of violence here and there, but when it comes to like gang violence, gang activities, we should have abolished that a long time ago. So I'm glad the Trump administration is actually getting rid of a lot of these groups that love to be, radicalists and, agents of chaos. You know, I like that. He's getting rid of those type of people. So we got Byron Donalds about to get into this little segment on Fox News about this. And yeah, let's go and get right into it. Let's go.
William, thank you. Byron Donalds, Florida congressman, is in focus now. Look, I thought that the far left, part of the Democrats, really wanted guns off the streets. But I guess it's okay if the guns are aimed at people that they don't agree with. I mean, it doesn't sound like they are pro, anybody but themselves.
No, you're 100% right, Harris. The far left does not practice the things that they preach, obviously. They only care about authority. They only care about having their way. They do not want to have debate. They don't want to have anybody second guess them. They want nobody to challenge them. And so now you have this group on the radical left who, you know, by all intents and purposes are intimidating other protesters. I thought the left believed in free speech and protesting. I guess that's not the truth. But again, this is the radical strain on the extreme Democratic left that's destroying that party, and it is actually allowing for people to be less safe in our country. So the Democrats, they need to hold themselves accountable. They need to examine this on their side of the aisle. Republicans, conservatives, we're going to continue to be peaceful. We're going to protest peacefully. We're going to speak our minds, but we're not going to yield when it comes to our views about our country and about the way society should go in America.
You know, you gave a hat tip to where I want to go next, and that is, what are you hearing on Capitol Hill? Because I didn't see a clapback necessarily to some of what's going on. I mean, if you are a leader in the Democrat Party and you see something like this being investigated, where's your voice? Are they talking about it?
I just want to pause real quick too. Anybody that's saying that fascist term isn't being used by the rhetoric of the left or the Democratic Party, yeah, no, it definitely is. You guys are the ones that are saying it. Anti-ICE, that's you guys. Yeah, you guys need to get control of your party. Okay, that's the biggest thing. A lot of the Democrats that I'm meeting, they don't even understand how radical their party and their base has gotten. They can't even see it, because only thing they are really concerned about is January 6th. January 6th was terrible, so the radicals can't be that bad, even though they're the ones committing a lot of the crime right now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it, you know. We still have a lot of gang violence and stuff that happens on a daily basis. Shoot, a kid got shot not so long ago, I'm pretty sure in Florida or somewhere over there. You know, those youngsters over there stay getting, gunned down at early ages because, you know what I'm saying, the violence is out of control. We need to control the violence. A lot of it is just, like I said, especially on the Democratic side, a lot of it is being championed and a lot of it's being not championed. So you got two sides of the Democratic Party that is fighting to win that war of good and evil. Like, they're trying to win that war. They're having an inner battle with each other, and that's why they can't get it together. That's truly why.
No, they're probably not going to talk about it at all, or they will try to do a whataboutism argument, which doesn't even hold water, doesn't make sense. What we were seeing all across the country, the ICE facility in Dallas a couple days ago, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, the attempted assassinations of Donald Trump, is that the radical left is now allowing, or I guess they're being warmed to or okaying radicalization and violence because they're not winning at the ballot box, because their ideas do not make sense. They are not common sense. They're outside the mainstream. They're quite frankly insane, and they've been rejected by the American people.
Well, I want to mention also this week leaders at Tennessee State University and HBCU kicked out a group inspired by Charlie Kirk. And there have been so many things about, well, whether or not the black communities, supported him, so on and so forth. The Fearless Tour Group posted this photograph of their table on campus with signs opposing illegal immigration and DEI policies. Tennessee State said in a statement that all students acted in a professional manner at all times. Let's roll the video.
Come on. Yo.
Oh, you better not, boy. You better not.
Okay.
You better not.
Hello? You can see the students shouting and chasing down members of that group. The response to the school on Twitter said, they attacked us, our car, stole our possessions, screamed black power in our faces, and threatened us with guns, weapons. Congressman, your reaction?
Listen, this is outrageous. Tennessee State has a responsibility to have their campus be under control. HBCUs were created to allow for black students at a time in America when they were not allowed to go to a lot of universities because of segregation and racism, to have a place where they could go and learn and debate and be educated. And so this behavior that Tennessee State's going to allow is frankly wrong. These students need to be allowed to come and have their case be made peacefully in our country. And so what you're seeing in these images is Tennessee State is not actually upholding the values of their institution. They're allowing the mob to dictate political correctness on that campus, and it's wrong. If you're a student at Tennessee State and you don't agree, that's fine. But to take their possessions, try to run them off campus, that's wrong. You wouldn't want that to happen to you. Everybody should be allowed to debate and have their voice be heard.
Why didn't they stop the guy from taking the sign? Hold up, did anyone they literally let that boy walk away with the sign. He's literally stealing. Hold up.
We're allowing the mob to dictate political correctness on that campus, and it's wrong.
Look at the cops. Look at the cops. They're just standing there. They're just standing there. They wrote on them, obviously. Like, that's their stuff. Like, you just can't take their stuff. What the hell? Oh, hell no. Hold up.
If you're a student at Tennessee State and you don't agree, that's fine. But to take their possessions, try to run them off campus, that's wrong. You wouldn't want that to happen to you. Everybody should be allowed to debate and have their voice be heard.
Look, if I could just plain speak for a minute, because it's so obvious. It's true. I mean, those young black students on that campus, though, they're not towing the line of the left. They're not speaking and saying the things that they're expected to say. That narrative doesn't go along with how they should vote. And that's something that some of us have heard our entire lives. Your thoughts?
You're exactly right. If you're not towing the Democrat line and somehow you're less than as a black person in this country, it's flat out wrong. And it's one of the reasons why the Democrat Party has been allowed to have so much power for so long, because they demand blind loyalty and blind allegiance. And that's changing, Harris. It's changing all across the United States. But whether it's Tennessee State or any other HBCU in America, we should be having broad debate on political philosophy, political policies, and what we want the future of America to be, not shouting people down. To be blunt, just like you said, if there were black students on a relatively white university campus and the same thing occurred, it would be a national outrage. We have to allow for free speech. That is a framework of our republic, is debate and allowing for broad debate to be accepted peacefully and not to be harassed while you're trying to do it.
Wow. This is crazy. I honestly, like I said, I'm not on social media like that. I really be working so much nowadays. Build my character. And like you said, with the whole debating thing, I'm starting to learn that more and more now as I'm getting older, because to just sit here and just constantly just try to just argue people down or just yell at people about what they believe. I'm never going to sit here and try to yell at you about what you should believe in. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that type of person. It's not my job to teach you what you should be learning on your own time. You know what I'm saying? If I'm able to do the self-independent thought researching and stuff like that, then you should be able to do it too. A lot about Plato, and I'm just trying to get into a lot more philosophies, understand debate culture, and like I said, being involved in this, you got to understand what you're talking about and what you're doing. And just like I said, watching these clips and also watching what the Democratic leaders say on their platforms, CNN and MSNBC, it's just good to get information and to see both sides of it and to see where the lies are really being told at, and what's really a deception and what's really the truth. And that's just how I see it, man. But as always, guys, I appreciate you guys for watching the video. Leave a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'll catch you on the next one, man. Peace.